Sure.
I am
How's
a
that for an easy
resilient
question? Yeah.
woman with a lot of courage.
Yeah.
And I have managed to stay curious. And I think that's a saving grace. It's far more important to be interested than to be interesting.
Hollywood's influence on American culture and politics is undeniable, with celebrities often using their platforms to advocate for various causes and ideologies. Within this dynamic, certain Hollywood figures have found themselves at odds with conservative circles, drawing significant anger from Republican audiences. In this video, we'll take a look at 5 such celebrities who have become lightning rods for conservative criticism. Join Facts First as we take a look at some Hollywood celebrities who Republicans can't stand. Jane Fonda. Jane Fonda, an iconic actress and activist, has left an indelible mark on American culture, both through her acclaimed performances on screen and her outspoken advocacy off-screen. Fonda's career spans decades, with standout roles in films like Clute, Coming Home, and On Golden Pond, which earned her 2 Academy Awards for Best Actress. However, it's her controversial actions during the Vietnam War that have fueled intense animosity from conservative circles. In 1972, Fonda traveled to North Vietnam, where she was famously photographed sitting on an anti-aircraft gun used against American pilots, earning her the derogatory nickname Hanoi Jane. This image became a lightning rod for criticism, with many conservatives viewing it as a blatant act of betrayal against American troops. Fonda's subsequent statements and actions, including her participation in anti-war rallies and her denunciation of U.S. foreign policy, further cemented her reputation as a polarizing figure in American politics. Despite expressing regret for her actions in North Vietnam, Fonda remains a target of conservative ire to this day. Her controversial past continues to be invoked by political opponents who depict her as emblematic of Hollywood elitism and left-wing extremism. But Fonda's supporters argue that her activism was rooted in genuine concern for social justice and human rights, and she shouldn't be condemned for using her platform to speak against perceived injustices.
And the right wing has been very assiduous in fanning the flame of the myth of Hanoi Jane. You know, they've spread lies on the internet about things that I supposedly did that aren't true, and they've kept it alive because it suits their interests.
Whoopi Goldberg. Whoopi Goldberg, celebrated for her versatility as an actress and her candid commentary as a talk show host, has emerged as a prominent voice in American entertainment. Her career spans across film, television, and theater, with standout performances in movies like The Color Purple, Ghost, and Sister Act. But it's her role as a co-host on the daytime talk show The View that has thrust her into the political spotlight and drawn the anger of conservative audiences. Goldberg's unapologetic liberal viewpoints and sharp criticism of Republican politicians and policies on The View have made her a lightning rod for conservative backlash. Whether challenging conservative talking points on issues like immigration, healthcare, or LGBTQ rights, Goldberg has not shied away from expressing her opinions, often sparking heated debates on the show. And her defense of controversial figures like filmmaker Roman Polanski has further fueled conservative criticism, with some accusing her of hypocrisy and moral relativism. Despite the controversy surrounding her political commentary, she remains a beloved figure among her fans who appreciate her wit, intelligence, and fearlessness in speaking her mind. But her detractors see her as emblematic of Hollywood's liberal bias and dismiss her views as out of touch with mainstream America. Nevertheless, her influence as a cultural icon and ability to provoke thought and discussion can't be denied. She once said, "Listen, you've got to start with the truth. The truth is the only way that we can get anywhere."
People always see these crazy memes that I'm going to leave the country if he gets in there. Somebody else thought I was leaving, was sending suggestions for people to take my place. Look, I'm not going anywhere. Okay?
Michael Moore. Michael Moore, a provocative filmmaker and political commentator, has made a name for himself by challenging the status quo and exposing societal injustices through his documentary films. Moore's career highlights include groundbreaking works like Bowling for Columbine, Fahrenheit 9/11, and Sicko, which have earned him critical acclaim and sparked widespread debate. But it's Moore's unabashed criticism of Republican administrations and his unapologetic advocacy for progressive causes that have made him a lightning rod for conservative criticism. In films like Fahrenheit 9/11, Moore pulls no punches in his scathing critique of George W. Bush's presidency and the Iraq War, presenting a damning indictment of U.S. foreign policy and corporate greed. His bold assertions and provocative filmmaking style have earned him fervent supporters and vehement detractors, with many conservatives seeing him as a propagandist and provocateur. His vocal support for progressive policies, including universal health care and gun control, has further solidified his reputation as a polarizing figure in American politics. While some may dismiss Moore as a partisan filmmaker driven by ideology, others see him as a courageous truth-teller, unafraid to speak truth to power. Quote, "I've been around politics long enough to know that sometimes you have to stand up to the boss if you believe in something," said Moore.
If you're a citizen of a democracy, that automatically implies you're an activist.
Sean Penn. Sean Penn, known for his intense performances on screen and his outspoken activism off-screen, has garnered praise and criticism for his bold stances on political issues. Penn's career as an actor includes acclaimed roles in films like Mystic River, Milk, and Dead Man Walking, for which he's received numerous awards, including 2 Academy Awards for Best Actor. But it's his involvement in political activism and controversial interactions with foreign leaders that have drawn significant backlash from conservative circles. His willingness to engage with controversial figures on the world stage, including Hugo Chavez in Venezuela and Fidel Castro in Cuba, have sparked accusations of naivete and even treason from critics. His visits to countries with authoritarian regimes and his vocal opposition to U.S. foreign policy have led many conservatives to view him as unpatriotic and out of touch with American values. One of his most notable controversies arose from his clandestine meeting with Mexican drug lord Joaquin El Chapo Guzman in 2015, which he conducted while Guzman was on the run from authorities. Penn's subsequent Rolling Stone article detailing the encounter drew widespread condemnation. Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey, one of the most influential figures in American media, has built an empire on her unparalleled ability to connect with audiences and inspire positive change. From her groundbreaking talk show, The Oprah Winfrey Show, to her multimedia production company, Harpo Productions, Oprah has wielded her platform to champion diverse voices and address pressing social issues. But it's her perceived alignment with liberal causes and political figures that has drawn criticism from conservative quarters. Throughout her career, she has used her platform to promote progressive causes, from advocating for LGBTQ+ rights and supporting gun control measures and environmental conservation efforts. Her endorsements of political candidates like Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton have led some conservatives to view her as a partisan figure, wielding her influence to sway public opinion in favor of democratic policies. And her embrace of New Age spirituality and self-help philosophies has drawn scrutiny from conservative Christians who see her as promoting beliefs contrary to traditional religious values. Despite backlash from conservative audiences, Oprah's impact on American culture can't be overstated. Her ability to empathize with her guests and tackle sensitive topics with grace and compassion has earned her widespread admiration and respect. And her philanthropic efforts, including the establishment of the Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy for Girls in South Africa, have endeared her to millions around the world. Now it's time to hear from you. Which of these celebrities do you find troubling? Let us know in the comments section below.